If I were to show you old family photos, you would see 5 people smiling. But if you asked me, I would see 4 people smiling and 1 person hiding. Life for me has always been a game of hide and seek, except in this game of my life, I would cheat, and no one could peek, and I never wanted anyone to seek. I really just wanted to hide deep down inside. My motto has been it's like I was never here, and nothing's more closer to the truth since I never let the real Josh Herman appear. They say the best place to hide is in plain sight, and that's what I did every day and every night. I'd put on one mask and go to school, or I'd hope I would be seen as cool, then I would hang out with friends and put on a different mask and over and over and over again until the real Josh just never fit in. I made a decision to keep my masks, and could answer any question that anyone could think to ask. But no matter how hard I tried to hide, there was always a still calm voice inside. But I learned to push it aside, and express it sometimes when I'd feel alone and bury my head and cry. But that feeling would pass by simply putting on another mask. If I were to show you those family photos again, you would still see 4 people smiling. But maybe now you'd think you'd see me with a grin. If that's what you see, then we're still playing hide and seek, because if you look at the photos, you'll see me in hats and hoods and anything else that could and would hide me and shadow me from the reality that I was not who I proclaimed to be. So who did I pretend to be? Anyone that wasn't me. I pretended to be cool at school and sometimes funny, and other times I would act like I loved money. I pretended to be a Christian at times when it was easier to get by. I would love every car and spit random facts, but inside of myself, I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to be liked. And even if I've never met you, that principle and practice was still true. I would do and say and wear anything just to be liked by you, even if that meant the person you liked never really existed at any point in time. So I hid in the hats, and I hid in the hoods, and I hid myself in anything that I could. I didn't want people to know me, because if they knew me, they would throw me away. So I threw myself away. I locked myself away. The real Josh Herman was not allowed to see the light of day. It didn't matter if the real Josh had been thrown away, because there was always a mask to hide him and make him seem like he was okay. So I put on my suits and did my hair and tried to show everyone how much I could care, but it was all a facade. Except to God. I would have deep thoughts about how I'd say, I'm a Christian, but what if I'm not? But again, I could slip on the mask and just pretend, but if you got in my face and said it's a dare, then I'd do what you said, because you knew that I cared. But I didn't know that deep in my soul, Jesus kept a small burning coal. Now, treated just right, a small burning coal can turn into fire and spread rapidly through one's hearts and desires. I'm not there yet. But I know that the coal is still burning, and the more I listen to Jesus, the more I have a deep yearning. Now I can picture some of you saying, Josh, why are you telling us all this? You're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing your kids. You're embarrassing your family. Stop telling us what you did. Stop telling us what you're doing. Stop telling us about your lies. Stop telling us about the ways you would hide, and stop with these horrible Dr. Seuss rhymes. If God is working through you, then work through your strife, but don't throw it in my face. I'm content with my life. Keep your journey to yourself. You were better when you were hidden, and what gives you the right to act like now you're going to heaven? Josh, I know you or knew you, and none of this can be true. Sure, you struggled, but how can your beliefs be so muddled? If you've never met me, you wouldn't think this is true. Because believe it or not, I would have created a mask for you too. Now I know that writing these poems and messages puts myself out there. It exposes the things I was supposed to leave at the altar. But I now have scars, since the wounds were healed when I was at the altar. I have to explain Christianity someday to my 2 daughters. And they will know that their dad is a changed man, but also that he faltered. It's not where I've been, it's where I'm going. And sometimes the road to Christ can feel so lonely. But I have Jesus' name, and that took the place of my shame. My foundation is built, now that I'm leaving my guilt. So excuse me for a minute if you hear about my strife, now that I'm having some victories in my life. And you know that I'm not saying anything that's shocking. I mean, this can't be any worse than what's been said through the gossiping. But I've stood still long enough, and God is fanning the flame and changing my desires. But doesn't this point out the problem with modern-day Christianity? Don't tell your problems and everything's fine with me. If I was drowning, a Christian would tell others that I can't swim instead of helping me by diving in. That's not how the church is meant to be. I don't get it when I show up at church and the looks are smug when really all I need is a heartfelt hug. A word of encouragement that I'm here for you, or maybe just a hi as you're passing through. When the prodigal son returned home, the father met him with open arms. It was the wicked son that was the one that wanted to do the prodigal harm. And this isn't just about me, but it's different now that I can see. I've been the person that's cast the stones and made myself the right hand to God's throne, but that's so sinful and missing my call. You see, I was made to love, not to judge all. Maybe someone will see my struggles and identify with my thoughts, and isn't that better than saying nothing at all? I mean, I have struggles, I have pain, I have hurt, and I've caused more. And specifics are important because Jesus died for far more. I've been to the valley of the shadow of death, and so have you, even if your valley is a far different depth. My God can move mountains, and he did so. He moved the mountains in my life to make the valleys. He will guide me through. So why not take the story that God is writing and make it public, so maybe others can see the struggle and the thriving? Jesus took away all my masks. It wasn't anything I would have thought to ask. He said, "Son, it's time to stop playing the games and start identifying with my name. God didn't create me to be different people. He created me to be one person and preach the gospel. And if you're wondering what to do, that's the same mission for you."